Hey there everyone, my name is Angel, I'm a graphic designer, and I'm going to school at the Laguna College of Art and Design, or LCAD for short. I've been going to graphic design school for about a year now, and I'm actually about to start a brand new semester. Literally, as of making this video, I am 2 days away from school. So I thought, what better way to get back into the school groove of things than to kind of review my top 3 projects that I made last semester. And so without further ado, let's just see what I'm doing. Number 1, I did a typographic book cover on a happy little book that I like to call How Not to Die Alone. It's a book by author Richard Roper. It's actually his debut novel, and I really enjoyed the book. But for this project, we had to make a typographic book cover, which meant we had to make cover, spine, and back cover. Back cover? Is the book, it's just part of the cover. But basically, everything had to be made of typography. So there wasn't going to be any pictures or illustrative elements, and that typography had to be made of an element that was important narratively in the story. It mostly revolves around a lot of funerals, a lot of death. The character himself is kind of grieving, and his job is that he's working a desk job in the UK for a civil service that finds people who have died alone, and then he tries to find the next of kin to take care of them, and if nobody wants to take care of them, then the government has to throw them a funeral. It is a very happy story, and I do recommend. I made the title out of dried pressed flowers, which I thought was very thematic. If you've read the book, then you know what I'm talking about. And it was kind of a great time just being able to do some creative problem solving, taking some photos, putting those things into Photoshop, and then finally making some mock-ups of the whole thing. I have a more in-depth, detailed explanation of the process on my website, shameless plug, paperduck.art. I think you should go check it out. But basically, here's how the product turned out, and boom! Okay, I'll show it to you a little faster this time. I mean, slower. Boom. Definitely a lot of fun. Would want to do another project like this again, but let's move on. And secondly, in no particular order, one of my favorite projects that I did was a poster for a theater play that my friend was putting on. He was directing it himself, putting it on for a cool event, and it was called Romeo y Julieta. And if you don't know Spanish, that's Romeo and Juliet. I know, large jump. I made a poster of the theater play Romeo y Julieta, and I really liked how it turned out. The colors that he chose for, the Montesecos y los Capuletos, or, Capulets and Montagues, were green and blue, and I try to make that really present in both of their characters. I thought that, hey, I'm like a really fucking smart guy for figuring that guy out. But this project was really fun to make. Also, I had to pose as both of these characters to get the pose right. I don't have the pictures, but I do have this video time-lapse of me posing as Romeo. And before I get to my third mention, in no particular order, I do want to name some honorable mentions. Or more like honorable mention, because there's only one. I made a Skittles commercial in After Effects. For this project, we were given 15 seconds to illustrate all the things that we learned in After Effects throughout the semester in this Skittles commercial. So that's a little bit of parallaxing, a little bit of pre-comping, and I forget some of the other stuff. But after all was said and done, this is what my project looked like.
Bless a rainbow, taste a rainbow.
It turned out great. One of my problems with this project was that finding sound effects was really fucking hard, but then I realized I'm in school, and I don't really have to worry about copyright right now. So basically what I did is that I went on Helldivers, I loaded up the game, turned off the music, and I started warping to other planets, and I was recording that warping sound so I can have it. So when this ship warps in, that's actually a Helldiver's ship going through FTL, or faster than light travel. I'm so annoying right now. What the fuck? The only reason that this is not in my top 3 and it's only an honorable mention is because technically I got the assignment wrong. Because you know how I told you that we were given 15 seconds to make a commercial? I actually misheard some instructions. Now I'm not gonna throw shade at anything. There wasn't really a really clear project outline in the syllabus, but also I should have taken better notes. Apparently the project was actually supposed to be for a minute commercial. But fortunately, the professor was really cool about it, and it was like, hey, I've illustrated the things that I've needed to know. I kind of went above and beyond, because this is intro to After Effects. I mean, if you are looking at this and you're like, this is kind of whatever, this was like not to toot my own horn, but one of the best projects in the class. There was like one project that was like really, really good, and I wish I could show it to you, but it's locked away somewhere. But it was really fucking good. It was like there was like a car involved and like some like it was like a racing skittle, and it was like, yeah, it was like really good. I also was really proud of this because I did the voiceover for it. I tried really hard to find a Skittles commercial that said, "Blast the rainbow, taste the rainbow," because that's usually how they end, something the rainbow, taste the rainbow, but I could not find it, so I ended up actually going into my closet and just screaming and recording, "Blast the rainbow, taste the rainbow.
Blast a rainbow, taste a rainbow. Blast a rainbow, taste a rainbow.
And I did very, very minor editing. I literally pitched my voice down like maybe like one pitch decibel. I don't know. And so for my third and final project, in no particular order, I did an assignment for my graphic design. I did a project for my graphic design 1 final where we basically had to go on a photo shoot, and then we had to make those pictures interesting. Interesting how, you say? You ask incredulously. Well, let me tell you, stop being so incredulous. I also realized I'm gripping this ruler really hard. Like, look at that. That's insane. And we had a couple things that we could do. We could make a book cover, make a magazine cover, do an album cover, make a movie poster, and we had to mock all of those up and put them into a real life situation. I mean, that's what a mock-up is. Can you tell that I don't actually write a script for this, that I'm just kind of like, let's turn on the camera and see what happens. So what I ended up doing is that I took my professional photo and I made a book cover. I was reading some self-help books at the time, not for a bad thing. I mean, like, I think it's just good to stay on the self-help grind, you know? Like, #therapize yourself, son. So I made a book cover and I tried to make this like autobiographical feel, and I tried to get this like, you're grinding, so this is how I learned not to fuck up my life. And so I thought that that was gonna be kind of like a funny like book cover, and then I just thought that the title like in my head felt like such a, I don't know, that feels like a self-help book, and it's like, hey, this shit was #1 New York bestseller, and you're like, I've never fucking seen this book in my entire life. I also made an album cover. I really like this artist, Who Shot Scott. He is super cool. You should check him out. But apart from his music being cool, all of his album covers are also a lot of fun. He does this collage art style, and some of his more recent albums or his more recent singles have had this album art style. So I wanted like, hey, I want to do that. And I made something really grotesque. I digitally collaged myself. I took a bunch of different pictures of myself doing a million different faces, and then I put them all together and I made this abomination. And if you're like, did you post that? Did you actually send that as your final? I did. And I got some reactions. Not all of them were good. I also made a couple magazine covers. I made one for graphic design. Now here's the context. Before you think that I'm just like this person who has... Oh, I can't even get the word right. What is the word? The ego. Just know that this was part of the project. We had to take pictures of ourselves or have others take pictures of us. And then we had to make a magazine spread or something about us being like graphic designers or being like someone. I didn't want to be like giving myself like a fake thing because I felt like that would be weird. It's like, you know, if I put myself in like the front cover of like a magazine and I'm like, he's the best scientist ever, then I'd be like, do I think I'm really smart? And then, you know, I decided that I'd stick with graphic design because we're in graphic design class, and I thought that was the least weird option. But then looking back at it, I'm like, do I think I'm the shit of graphic design? In that class, I low-key kind of was. I'm not like building a great case for myself for the ego. But we had to make a magazine or whatever spread about ourselves. So I made this design where basically I was the graphic designer of the month or the graphic designer of the year. I don't remember. I should have looked at these projects before I started like remembering them. I was like, I can remember it off the fucking dome. I looked at like some graphic design examples of what does a graphic design magazine look like. I felt that they were usually very like simple, understated, but also I was thinking about how do I line this up? And if you don't know how to line up typography, all you have to know is that you need grids, and magazines have grids. Magazines are crazy about grids. If you read a magazine, you've been looking at a grid and you don't know it. I also did another magazine. This magazine cover is basically a Dungeons and Dragons magazine. I really like D&D. If you don't know, I'm wearing a D&D shirt right now. And this D&D one was also a lot of fun because this was working on something that I truly love to do. I love playing D&D. On my free time, I still create character sheets and I write campaigns that I know I will never run. And I write characters that I know I will never play because I'm kind of a forever DM in that aspect. But a lad can dream. And finally, one of my friends, she took a really awesome photo of me and I was like, holy shit, this looks sick. And also my professor was like, holy shit, this looks sick. And you should use that. And I was like, how do I use this? Because this photo's already kind of cool in itself. Like, what do I do with it? I don't really want to edit it all that much. And then I was like, what if I put space on it? And here are all the mock-ups for all of those. I'll put like a little slideshow of them, and I'll probably put them in the background at the end of this video because there's just kind of a lot of them. Anyway, thanks for watching. I have a goal, and one of my goals is that I want to be making videos as I'm making these projects. So now that I'm going to be starting my next semester of school, I'm going to be making videos about those projects in action, in the process. I'm going to be boots on the ground, doing it. Hard. But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Super excited for this next semester of school to come up. Really happy that I made these projects and I'm finally making a video kind of highlighting them. You should check out my website, paperduck.art. You should check out my Instagram, paperduck.art. And that's all I have to say. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you out next time. I'll see you around next time. I'm gonna get like really good at YouTubing, and I'm gonna have an outro. It's gonna be sick. Maybe I should just put like I don't know After Effects, because I think it would be really funny to end this video with like a really like 3D dubstep outro. And it'd only really be funny for me. No, it's fine. We'll do that next time, sometime. I am learning 3D this semester, so. Oh my fucking god. I'm really annoying.